A 40-year-old woman who was stabbed 19 times, allegedly by her husband, says she's living in fear. She doesn't know where he is. Lerato Makhavhu says her husband attacked her in front of their 11-year-old son and 4-year-old daughter at their northern suburbs home last month. The man was arrested but later released. ENCA reporter Masego spoke to her.
Many have asked, why don't abused women just leave their abusers? Well, that's easier said than done. And in Lerato Makhavhu's case, she did leave, and she even filed for divorce. And then she was almost killed for that. She says this police station has failed her.
My kids saw the whole thing. My son, while I was getting beat up or stabbed, I could hear him saying, "Please don't kill my mother." I could hear his voice.
She's a survivor, but she doesn't know for how long when the man who allegedly did this to her still walks free.
My son couldn't sleep for 2 weeks. And because my daughter's a little bit younger, she understands, she speaks about it every day. And she wants me to paint the story of what happened. She looks at my wounds and tells me that my wounds are ugly. She doesn't like seeing my wounds. So we are traumatized. I can't go to work. They can't go to school. Because I'm scared that they'll be fetched from school and then I'll hear another story.
Makhavhu is pleading with her estranged husband to hand himself in.
Hand yourself in. You know what you did. You know the truth. Just go to the police and tell them what you did.
But he's told police he was acting in self-defense. Makhavhu says her wounds and this photo taken on the night of the incident is proof she was defending herself. The NPA is confirming the man was released as he filed a countercharge against his wife. Police are continuing investigations, after which the authority will decide if it will prosecute. Meanwhile, Lerato says as her physical wounds heal, the emotional scars she and her children suffer are forever. Masego, Johannesburg.
I love it. Conversations with Upumzile. Hi guys. We already had this conversation. We started, but now we are here with you, not together. It's been fun. Lerato, thank you so much for joining me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Sure. Conversations with Upumzile. I invited Lerato Makhavhu here. What a story. We started the conversation for this. What a story. But this is not about the story itself, but it's the after, the healing, the survival. And it's not my story, it's Lerato's stories. But guys, as you all know, why we do Girl Next Doors, I always talk to people that I can see, I can touch, and I can always call. Shoot, I need something. I know where this girl is. Sometimes we have people that we look up to, but we never see them. They're doing all the rounds. They are celebrities. They are out there, but they're not even reachable to us. But we want people who can build us and build a network whereby I can see you, I can be in a space with you without feeling like you are somebody that I need to admire from far. Yeah. So this is why Lerato is here today. And now she is now my girl next door.
Absolutely.
She is my girl next door.
Absolutely.
So guys, look forward to something's going to come. We're going to do the hikings, as we always know, meditation hour, yogas. She's going to be that girl that we're going to invite every now and again. So Lerato.
Yay! Excited.
Before we go to the book, but who is Lerato Makhavhu as a young girl? I can see you that you are that girl.
Lerato is from Orlando East, born and bred Orlando East. Yeah, I can relate to Ntombazane Selokshin because I had the same pressures growing up. Tina SOA to Orlando East, we were not poor, so I don't say I'm from a disadvantaged background. What disadvantage? I mean, I had everything. I had food every day. I had a loving family. I was born of a 16-year-old, so my mom was 16, and I'm glad that she kept Isiso Wangzala as a young girl, because I wouldn't be here. There wouldn't be my children. There wouldn't be now this generation that I gave birth to, which is amazing. Wow. So yeah, so in a nutshell, ntombazane yaselokishini yase-Orlando East. I think Lerato just simply says who I am. I love people. I've got time for anybody. I can accommodate wonke umuntu. Akuna class like him. Doesn't matter who you are, I give you the time and the respect that you deserve. Yeah, and people should be treated that way. So, easy going.
Easy going.
Yeah.
Just your girl. Somebody simple who is relatable. I like that. Like just as when you were driving in, you know, we started waving and all that. As if we know each other for a long time. So definitely you are that girl.
Yeah.
So tell me, when you were young, when did you start dating? Did you date as a teenager?
Not at all. So grew up in a Christian family. Christian values. You go to church or you die.
Or you die.
So no choice, but I'm grateful of that upbringing. It kept me from a lot. Another negative, it had me thinking that life is perfect. Because you are taught ukuthi uzokhula ushade, be in a family, like life is supposed to follow a certain type of order, not being exposed to bad things that happened out there.
Or what dating is about, or falling in love or not falling in love, or liking somebody or not even liking them.
Yeah, so
that was
ukhula uthi I'm waiting for my ideal partner, who's going to be my husband, who's going to be perfect. We're going to have children.
Cinderella story.
Cinderella.
Like work hard and be a woman,
Exactly.
and then the Prince Charming will come.
Will come and treat you well and be kind to you, and you'll be the apple of his eye. He will give you everything that you need because uzbambe kahle as a child, and now this is an achievement. So that's how I looked at marriage. And so I'd never really dated. So vele sizokhangiswa ukuthi umuntu kabanibani. But it was not really a relationship. It wasn't something that I was invested in.
And then matric studied. What did you study?
So matriculated in 1997 in Malvern High. Post matric, I studied with Varsity College and UNISA, and because of lack of funds, I had to stop in the middle. Initially enrolled for a BCom degree that I never completed, but then finished a management principles diploma in the basics of business, so always in finance. Started working for a bank and moved into different financial institutions until currently now I'm a training specialist with one of the financial services providers. So I guess that education led me to where I am
where
right
you
now.
are now. Nice. Sure. Yes, I was going to ask you about your beliefs before we go to the book. I wanted to ask you about the beliefs, but at least you spoke more about from the Christian family and believe that God over everything. So you have some background. But other than believing in God and Christ, your traditional culture in terms of upbringing, what are your beliefs?
So when it comes to traditional culture, we're never exposed to that bit. But it was never hidden, so I knew my ancestors. So my grandmother would relate, Uchu Babam did this, and she had things, mannerism that she did, and I could see that it somehow acknowledging ancestors. But because she was a Christian, it was the Bible first. But she never said anything negative about our ancestors. And she wanted us to know our ancestors, to know where we come from. So we would go to Rustenburg, where she was born, go to where Mkhulu was buried. So she wanted us to have that exposure, but not necessarily in worship. But in terms of our history, as a young girl, I must know Uguti, where am I from?
Like you from Soweto and
And your maiden surname? My maiden surname is Trabala. So there's a lot of as a black person.
Story for another day. I know.
I have to come back.
I know. When it comes to names and surname, I have just sorry to disturb you. I have 4 names and I don't know how many surnames. So Bridget. So those were my, and I used all 4 in different areas. And then surnames, and there's another surname, so I know us and surname.
This surname that are my maiden surname, it's not actually my surname, but it was my grandmother's ex-husband. So my mother never got married to the sperm. That's
Yeah.
how I'm going to say it in terms of the
Biologically.
person biologically.
Yeah.
So my mother never got married.
Okay.
So I took my mother's surname, and
Okay.
it was my grandmother's surname. But there's
Please.
but another episode.
Another episode. Because those are the other stories that we, for me, I would like us as Black people to talk about, because it says a lot about. Hence, I'm asking specifically about beliefs to get
Yeah.
to where we're going. Because on your book, you specifically say you prayed
Yeah.
for a man, a perfect man,
Absolutely.
ideal man.
Absolutely.
You know, so why I'm asking beliefs, because sometimes there's that way. What is that perfect man? From the background of Mabuyo, Uyibone, and your father,
Yeah.
and Amamenarism, how he was and how they treated your parents, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's not only about the Bible and the Christian way of doing
It's
things.
what you're
So
seeing.
it's what you're seeing,
Which is true. So my grandfather was that man, and my father that married my mother was that man, and still is that man.
Yeah. that
So
we
to
pray
me,
for.
these men that I was observing were perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they were able to articulate the type of man that you are praying for, because
absolutely,
it's something that
because I
you
see
know
this man.
you've-
It's my grandmother.
Ah.
I see this man. It's my father that is raising me,
Yeah.
and it's my uncle, my uncles. I see how
Yes.
they treat their spouses. So this
Yes.
is the ideal man I want. I'm praying because I've seen him.
Yes.
Yeah, this is what I'm expecting
Yes.
him to be.
It's not one of those we pray for. Like there's a book that I read long time ago.
Yeah.
Of this girl who was praying for a husband, and Begagomanan. You
Yeah,
know, so
yeah.
she was also getting raped, and the whole story goes in. So Bega Sevens are in a Christian school.
Yeah.
So she was praying for a man, a husband.
Yeah.
And Wafola in love with somebody else's husband who had kids. So Mother Funi advised to Sister Umdala,
Yeah.
no, I've been praying for a husband.
Yes.
I've been praying for a husband.
And
And
now
the question
here's
was,
this man. Yeah.
you prayed for a husband. So
Not
you got a
yours.
husband. You didn't pray for
A
a
man.
man. You So you were saying God, a husband. So
Yeah.
you
Mm.
pray
You
for
must be
exactly
specific.
that. So those specifications.
Yeah.
So that's why I normally go back to asking the values, the beliefs, because they shape us.
They
Whether
do.
we like it or not, they shape us. They shape, like for instance, when saying "Ukulethela indoda ngetray ugobe," the sign of respect.
Yeah.
Those things, they shape you. And when somebody start treating you like that and
Yeah.
say "ngilethele ngetray," and it's not done in a certain way, then it shows what it can be okay, because
Yeah.
you've seen it
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So tell me about you falling in love.
Yeah.
Meeting,
falling in love.
meeting
So
this guy.
it was
and
not a
falling in
target.
love.
It was not a
Yeah.
priority. It was not in the plan. Yes, I wanted to
Yes.
fall in love. Yes, we're getting old. I'm getting older in age.
Yeah.
And I want to have kids. I think for me, kids were it.
Okay.
I want to have a family, but I want a man that loves me.
Yeah.
That's going to respect me, like the men that I've been observing around.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. And I'm being taught to pray for my husband or my man that I'm looking for, and that God will give me exactly what I want.
Yeah.
So I think I got to an age. Age was a pressure fact to me.
Okay.
A pressure point to say, now you're getting older, you're in your late 20s, you're dating no one. I mean, what's going to happen now? Where are those children going to come from?
Yeah.
So I think I
And
was...
you're already now established, because you are working.
I'm
At the
working,
time.
I've got my
You're
own
qualificating,
car,
you are done.
I've got my own
So
property.
what's next?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's the next step.
Yeah.
You would think, yes.
Okay, I can
Yeah.
settle now.
Even though it wasn't something that I was actively looking at, everybody around me was like, no, you have to date. I go,
Yes, like I get in
yeah,
now.
usikhuluma ngabethu, upho wakho, khuluma ngowakho nawe.
Precious,
You know?
I tell you.
And precious of, wena uzoteta uhamba nge-wheelchair or nge-walker.
But now, because you still want kids.
Yeah, but like, I also want new one. I had a friend who had a kid when she was 14, and we were very close. And uzothi mangimdropa off kwakhe athi yo wena umntwana uzophuma phi wena ngizokuphusha nge-wheelchair.
And things we say to each other as friends, guys, and they stay.
Yeah.
They are funny, but they stay. You're thinking like, yo.
Like, it was mangihlaniwe ngithi all right, there's
So I must open myself. I
I must
be
open
ready.
myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, I
To
met
meet
a
each
person
other.
at work introduced by a colleague and friend, and I thought, wow, yes, he smells good, he looks good.
Okay.
He's
What about
interested
to
in
us?
me.
Yeah.
He said I'm the mother of his children. He knows what he wants.
Okay.
So here's a man who knows what he wants. Finally, Yeah, we're not playing Lana Siashada.
Yeah.
And we're gonna build a family, we're gonna build a legacy.
Yeah.
So
and who already saw you as that person, like beyond just a girlfriend.
exactly.
Like immediately.
He did his
wow.
research.
Okay.
Because he was asking this friend, colleague that I was very close to.
Okay.
So he asked the right questions, and because now she wanted to hook me up, said the things and prepared Lendl, which I got to know. Yeah, Nyazi, take her for coffee. She loves coffee. She's this type of a girl. Grew up in this background. So if you can match, you can match her with the same things automatically. Yeah, she's going to fall in love with you, and that's exactly what happened. He mirrored me.
Yeah.
And gave me exactly what I was looking for. Because he knew
your
was
life
paying attention.
Before. Yes.
He was paying attention, asking the right questions. So he delivered exactly what I was looking for.
Sure.
So,
and these are the things we always say about dating, like when we advise young girls to get somebody who know you first for you, so that when you continue or when you decide to commit, it's somebody that, but then sometimes it works against us.
Yeah. That's another thing, and at the stage at the beginning, you never know where the relationship or where the intentions of this person are. And also in the beginning of the relationship, his intentions might be pure.
Yeah.
Of, yes, I think I'm over that age, here's the perfect woman for me, let's start a relationship. But there's always those signs that make you feel uncomfortable. Immediately when you start feeling uncomfortable, pay attention to that. I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't point a finger.
Sure.
Yeah, I had questions, man.
What's going
Why
on?
am I feeling uneasy when I have found the person ozmisele ofuna ukushada? But I'm telling you, there was that uneasiness. I could not put my finger on it.
Sure.
And if I had read a book like this one before, maybe I would have paid attention to certain things. Which, okay, hey man, this is too perfect. Yeah, we've never had a fight. We never fought.
Sure.
In the beginning. Perfect.
Was all guys, we talking about this book. I was getting there. So I want to be silenced. And I purposely asked about you first before getting into the book. You know, sometimes we think a certain people attract certain things.
Yeah.
You know,
true.
If let's say you are wearing a short skirt, that's why you got raped.
That's true.
You know,
which is a lie.
You know, so that's why I wanted us to talk about you first. Yeah. Because yes, you are not your story, but this is something that happened to you.
That's true.
And now it also built something else, and now it served as like a different purpose.
Absolutely.
A different purpose.
I had to go through it. So there's that shame part of it. So people think, hey, you're brave, you're talking about this, you're putting it out there. Yeah. I second guess myself all the time, like, what am I doing? Do I really want to tell people this? Wow. But then I had to be the sacrificial lamb.
Yes.
The one that puts it out there for that young girl that is 16 years old. And it's not only about marriage relationships.
Yeah.
Your mother might be your abuser, for an example. Your sister might be your abuser. It's not only your husband that will abuse you. People abuse us in different ways in relationships, and they are drawn to our trauma. So what is it when you were growing up that you were scared of? So I had to go back to my childhood to identify the trauma
what was that
he hooked on. And I realized that because I wasn't raised by my mother, there was a present trauma of abandonment in my life that he attached to.
Okay.
So he hooked exactly to that trauma of abandonment.
Yeah.
So
now he became that person that you must hold on to.
Exactly.
You must hold on to.
It doesn't matter how he treats me, how bad behavior is. This is the person that I'm linked to.
So I want people to read the book, and that's why I'm not asking about the book, but we are sharing the story. But there is one particular question that, when I read it, when I read it, though, you just spoke about it, but there are abusers and people who manipulate us around us. Sometimes you don't see it. Yeah. And the difference too, I've read different books, be it as in your sociodramas and all that, and real stories. Yeah. I love the way you wrote this one.
Yeah. I wanted to speak like the way I speak in Ibalaso.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, so you're hearing my voice.
And also this is what you must see this.
Yep.
You can point out this, and this is what you need to pay attention to.
Yep.
It's not like, this is my story, this is what happened to me. But just for people to know what happened.
So
on
I
that
wanted
day.
to take the reader to the beginning. So it must make
know.
sense.
Yes.
Angathi I was stabbed. Why were you stabbed?
Yeah,
Vele
true,
bazokwazi uyadelela vele, you've got a
Yes.
mouth. So I wanted to give you perspective from how perfect the relationship was.
Started.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
perfect.
And the
like
house.
I was addressing Bomina ngeke. The minute angishaya ngempama, I'm out.
Mpumalanga,
I'll shame.
yes.
So ukuthi uzokushaya ngempama, angeke.
And I got that because in the book, yes, now you're working, you meet him, you get married, you move into a beautiful house, and then now you are pregnant, and then boom,
There's a shift. I've got you. I don't have to behave anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm still stuck to good behavior. Like, hi bo, hey, wenzani?
Nazo.
Hi bo.
Yes.
I know. And then he suffered a death. So I excused his behavior in the beginning to the trauma. But, oh no, mama ko shonile. That's why I'm
So yeah, that's why I'm
understand.
moving,
Yeah.
and-
Ngoba akekho kanje lo muntu.
Yeah.
This is a perfect husband.
What do you think was the first trigger of the, when there's that first day when
Yeah.
it happened?
Yeah.
What do you think was the trigger of the first day of this perfect man that we met, who now changed to be something else that we didn't see?
So it didn't happen as if there was an event that occurred. It was little things that was happening. There's one event that I recall where he was being very rude towards. I'm just trying to relate exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I was asking him a question and he answered me very rudely, in a manner where I should have called him out. But then he laughed. You understand? With ngiyadlala.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
Oh, like
I
you
see.
slim, now you're an idiot,
I
mama.
see.
Something
I
like
see.
that.
I see.
Yeah. And then he laughed. And because he laughed, I excused it. I didn't know. He's teaching me how
This
to
is
be.
who I am.
Yeah, he's
This
teaching me.
is what-
So also throw an insult with a laugh. I get that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
so every time when he says that insult, I man what that. So I'm allowing it.
Okay.
Kancane. I'm allowing it. The young
And
two-
then there's this just character that
yeah,
now,
then young
now you're used
Chuka
to it now.
fuck off, fuck you. I don't swear at this person. Then ushintlambe njalo. Which I go umthukelani. So kancane.
Okay, so it was a
Introducing.
build up.
Yep. That's why I need to then you leave
And
them
then,
immediately.
because there is that misconception, or people say, guys, Magaga Wakshaya one, you must know which is something that's gonna come, and it's not easy.
Impama is the last thing that happens.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. The abuse. Iqala ngento
I
encane.
love what you're saying.
Impama
Impama is
yokugcina.
the last thing that happens.
Exactly. Dali
It
iqalile
starts
abuse.
before
Yeah.
Impama.
Impama xa
So by the
ngikusearch-
time Impama figure,
Awudala
you have
uqedile ngawe.
speed.
So uzomela impama. Impama is the later. Impama might kill you. There are people that have been slapped and died.
Just one, because you can fall on your head.
I was stabbed numerously and I didn't die. There are people that were stabbed with a small knife and they died. You understand?
Sure.
So that event Impama imele might kill you actually.
Sure. If you don't mind, take me to September.
Yeah.
That day, the 13th.
September
Because
13th.
this
yeah.
is the essence of everything. Is
It's
that
about
day.
that day.
That day.
Yeah. I remember it vividly, like it
Yeah.
was yesterday. I remember when I woke up, when I went to work. I had won a case. It was September 13th, was a Friday. On the Wednesday, I had won a case that said go back home because he had taken me out of my property.
Oh, okay.
Wangixosha ngashiya abantwana for about 3 months. Ngihlala kithi cabanga ubuyile he
Yes. Hey, those.
ubuyile upake next door ngithi akusena space.
Yeah.
And I was not ashamed. I love my neighbors and I love my community, and it's okay. Buya vele.
Buya ekhaya, yeah.
Yeah, uzoyaphi?
Yeah.
Ungasaba-
And that's the foundation that
Yeah,
as
ungasaba
parents
ma-
we need to. Yeah.
ungasaba amashwa abantu.
Yeah.
Khutlela kontlung, khutlela hen. Because if you've got home,
is
go
home.
home.
Home is home. Yeah.
Always go home. So I had to go with that embarrassment ukuthi ubuyile. How apha abantwana? Anginabantwana. I've been stripped of my children. Hey, uba later when he feels like it. That's what made me fight.
Okay.
My children.
Because you can't lose.
Because
you,
I
your
know
house,
him
your home,
and I know how
your-
abusive he is,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, not with my children. Yeah, like more. If perhaps he didn't do that, maybe it wouldn't have gotten where it did. But
Yeah.
because he stopped me from seeing my children,
Yeah.
he raised a monster in me that was going to fight for everything that she has and didn't care. So I also fought. I got into debt. I got lawyers. So he thought I'd push back. No, you can't push
Yeah.
me back from my kids
Kids,
that
yeah.
were in my tummy. You can't do that. don't mess with children.
So mother.
He did that. He messed with my children, and I did everything to get back home to my children. So I got hurt on the 13th, on a Friday, when I had won a court case putting me back to my property.
Okay.
And ngiyakumbula, I went to a salon ngayoqhina that day. I don't know why, but I think God wanted me ngiyoqhina to protect the wounds. Ngabe ngifile if I had my hair.
Oh yeah.
Ngingaqhinanga. So lo mqhino actually protected me from the stabbings. I still have wounds on my head, but I think if bengingaqhinanga, ngabe I hit the jugular vein. Because he missed it by an inch. Sure. They couldn't put me in ICU or under anesthetic because it was so short now.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know if you are bleeding internally. We don't know what we're seeing. I had to be stapled live, like like
to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, these are everything. My hands being sewn together without any assistance because they were scared, which maybe you are bleeding inside and now we put this on you and then you die.
Yeah. So you get home.
I get home. I'm at the salon. Let me start there. Get to the salon. I plait my hair. It's late. It's around 7 o'clock. And I go to my grandmother's house to pick up a bag and go home. I say bye to my aunt. She's worried. But I could see she was worried. I get home, it's a gated community, ngiyabaza, angina access, security
because they know
who I've been living there for more than 10 years.
Somebody's like, who
are you? Ngifonela ngiyabaza ingwami. So already mangibhaza uyazi ukuthi ngisegate ngiyangena. My daughter now after the fact tells me that he prepared the knife when I was at the gate. So when I phone in with the intercom, he goes to the kitchen and he puts the knife on top of the counter. I was not aware, only found out late. So when I walk in, my daughter is, her eyes are the stick. How Nana, you don't want to talk to me? Because and
now you're thinking maybe like she's turned against
you. Like,
we want to figure out.
Yeah, can't you know my daughter saw the knives and she's scared that I'm gonna get stabbed, I'm gonna get hurt already. My son has questions for me because now it's been
how old are they the time?
7 and hold on, who's 7?
I have 3 kids, I know the feeling.
They are, my son is 7,
okay,
and my daughter, no, I think my daughter is 7, and then my son is about 11.
Yeah, he's older.
They are 3 years.
4 years,
yeah, they are 3 years apart. So she's 7
at the time. Yeah.
And
it's so young.
Yeah, she's terrified. She doesn't want to talk to me. I mean, would you want to greet somebody always good?
Yeah, no.
A knife.
And she doesn't even know how to deal with that situation.
Yeah. So already she's scared. I could see she's scared.
Yeah.
Near to my son wants an explanation. Mommy, so now I'm the bad parent. Your mom doesn't want me to take you to a better school because we are fighting now. Your mom doesn't want, so my son is asking, why don't you want us to go to a better school? So I'm trying to sit him down and explain what we are going through a divorce, and I don't want to be in a situation that now we are going to suffer a trauma in your life, and now you're in a new school. It's better in the school that they know. So I can tell the principal, but Roneva is not okay. This is what's happening at home. So a new school, they
protect you.
So that's why I want you to stay. So good luck. With my son. Then my helper walks in. Oh, thank you, because my helper stayed.
Okay.
Thank you for staying while I was away. Yeah. So that's what a little bit of comfort. A little bit. Yeah. But she turned against me because when in the report she said I came in with the knife and I started stabbing him, which is a lie. So she comes in, I thank her. That's when the fight starts verbally. Okay. Why are you thanking her? What about me? Do you think these children say will help or everything? As they shine in your face. In my I've never been beaten like that. And shy in the middle of the nose. My nose knees were issues.
Why you are saying sometimes that slap can be the last because it has already but it has not been physical.
Exactly. And shy wherever he is, and the bite marks and abusers on bonala. ngimulume, and I think mangimuluma ngimkwatise.
Yeah.
Kuvuke angikhahlele, like, yeah, if you can see the pictures, just need to Google my name online, because I put it out there so that people must see what happened to me.
Yeah.
Angikhahlele ikhanda kube ngathi cabanga ngizwe ikhanda lethu boom. Oh, my wig is about to fall. Hey, down. Yeah, my crown. Yeah, ngibambe man on the floor.
And the floor is hard.
It's hard.
The floor is
ngigijime ngibaleke ngiphume in the yard. Now I'm outside. I'm not sure what's happening. That's when I started praying, because I'm thinking I'm dying.
Yeah.
Sent my ancestors.
And there's nobody outside.
Nobody outside.
It's quiet.
It's quiet.
One of those days whereby there is no
it's
one.
Quiet. Ngiyamemeza, nothing is happening.
I'm shaking here.
I'm sorry. Aze kanti bekayolanda imesi. Mina I'm not aware ngithi uyangiphantsha ngithi vele ngicenge. But I see a blade, man. Mangiloku ngivika ngikwaziyo. So when you look at my hands, you see all these scars. So mangiloku ngivika ngithi ngibona lento eshayina
now, yeah.
But it doesn't register.
It
It only registered afterwards. Ngiyabona mina I'm still thinking he's punching me. Angidrege eskontirini ngama braids lawo, like scars. Thank God that my skin heals.
Yeah.
Angidrege lapho angikhahlele. When he made me fall, he tripped me and kicked me again outside eskontirini. Angidrege kuleso skontiri, dragging me back into the house, because now maybe the neighbors will see. Mina ngizwa my son athi stop killing my mother. So I'm not sure ukuthi uphi lo mntana uthi beka phezu kwakhe.
Then trying to fight him off of you.
Yeah, so wampushela le athi ithe mampushela le what decided wayo press next door. Wabize next door. But why next door had to push him physically off me, because he was stabbing me, he was killing me.
So now he was going for a kill.
He was going for a kill, and he was going there.
Sure.
Yeah.
How many times did he stab you?
The counted wounds by the doctor was more than 20.
So 2029.
Yeah.
Because I saw one interview, I think on the news.
Yeah.
That the report said.
Because the doctor was counting every step. Konke la ezandleni konke la umesi ungene khona. Whether ungene totally the scratch. Yeah. So
that number of times Lerato was for the kill.
And the doctor said this person knew what he was doing, because he went for the neck, and especially on the jugular. Yeah. He cut my nose in half. I could put 2 fingers here. Thank God for my doctors that put me together. Bobona ukuthi bekafuna ukungenza scrap nje ukuthi ngizokulungisa.
So even if it's either you die or
if you survive, they will scrap
anything. Yeah. There won't be anything.
And now after when I see some of the things that he wrote about me before he stabbed me, he planned it. Because he took a document to his witch doctor to say I must die or ngilimale. So 2 options. It's written down in black and white. I must get hurt or die. I must lose everything. Athi ngimbashe ngibe yispot. Ubona uba nombashile la. Uba nombashile. Yeah. So ngimbashe ngibe yihobo. I must lose everything. Bangqoshe emsebenzini. And that's what he's trying to do with all
so
these.
So it was about killing you, destroying you.
Destroying you, obliterating you. And
yeah,
the justice system has failed me, because uhlala 10 months ejele, and magabuya ejele, he's got more rights than me. So I'm still fighting a big, huge legal battle.
And this is the thing now with GPV. This is one biggest thing that we still have an issue with. One, the system. 2, the people who are supposed to be helping. Or not take sides. Just when
do their job.
Apply the law.
Do
apply
your job. That's all I'm asking. Do your job. The police didn't want to take the knife. Well, I'm had to take the knife for them and say, Tata now umese. They didn't want to take anything.
Because now it seems like it was you who brought the knife, and now where are the things?
I'm a police 2 days later, after they were called, they didn't come. Baza espetlele bazobopha mina. I'm getting arrested.
Sure. Yeah, Lerato. No. Like,
so,
I'm okay here, but funny, I am shaking. My feet, I'm shaking. So I want to ask you, still on the day, there is on page, on page 55.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read it. Sure. Okay, I want to get let me get back to self.
Yeah.
On page 55, you say, I found myself closing my eyes and said a prayer, asking God to bring my grandparents down to me to receive my soul. I then had a calm voice inside my stomach that said, I won't die. But that is when he continued to stab you more and more.
Yeah.
What was that moment for you?
I actually
received my soul.
Yeah. I prayed out loud. I said, Father, in the name of Jesus, send my grandparents, I'm dying. And then an answer came from my belly and said, you're not dying. And then I verbalized it. I said to him, I'm not dying. And then he stabbed me further. When I said, you're wasting your time, I'm not going to die. Because that comfort came from my belly. I heard the voice here saying, you're not dying. This is not death. You are going to get hurt, but not dying. And I was comforted enough to repeat what I'm hearing. Which I'm not going to die. Then he stabbed me even more when I said that.
When I asked you about your beliefs and about God, this also got to me, because sometimes this, I know, like your book, you wrote it so wonderfully as a survival kit, and for people to pick up on things that you don't think about. So that was a certain strength of self that came about at that moment. That sometimes when you face something, there is that moment where you can dig deep.
Yeah.
Because that can be your first survival.
Yeah. And that was my survival, because remember, I was praying to give up.
Yes.
I was praying to go.
Yes.
And then when I dig deep, it assured me that it's not unto death. Whatever is happening, you're still around. And I think I got my strength from there. And comfort of knowing that, oh, I'm not going to die.
Yeah. And that came, and then you knew that you're not going to die.
Yeah. And I verbalized it. I said, I'm not going to die.
And you went on. You were stable. you were stitched.
Yeah.
And how long did you stay?
8 days. Sure. Because there was the fear of him coming to finish the job.
Okay.
But in the first 3 days, there was the fear of the jugular, maybe internal bleeding.
Yes.
So they were still checking. You know what? Right, yeah.
You know, when I opened the gate, I did look at your face.
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't Google.
Yeah.
I didn't. I think for me, I wanted to have this conversation with Lerato.
Yeah.
Not Lerato who was stabbed.
Yeah.
Not the victim.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to see your face.
Yeah.
I just watch the YouTube.
Yeah.
But you were already healed.
I was healed.
You were healed at the time. So that's the only thing that I checked. And I looked. And I wanted to see that girl who was dead. Like, hey, dude, you nearly died. This kid was supposed to be dead. So looking at you, you're looking beautiful, and I'm glad that you said it, that this is what you wanted to destroy.
Yeah.
And this is where it is.
Exactly.
And look at it now.
Yeah,
it's
I'm much more stronger. I'm not scared of him. So people ask me, "I wear no balingwadi."
Yes.
And I'm gonna create. Here's a second book, second edition, because there's 5 additional chapters that I could not publish for legalities.
Okay.
So when I do the second edition, it will include the last 5 chapters. And I found a safe space in writing. I want to tell other people's stories. If there's somebody that wants me to tell their stories, I will do that for you. I think we need to talk about these things. Remain anonymous and allow me to tell your story. So that's what I want to do going forward. An event, it happened then.
And then that's it.
No.
Because there's more, you know, again, I'm going back to that. I might be repeating myself to say, I love how you wrote the book. I know now you are angry, and you're being angry, and you still want justice. And yes, we are saying you won't be silenced, and this is why we're doing what we're doing now. But the beauty in your book, you don't come across as a angry black woman who was beaten and stabbed nearly to death. You write it with so much compassion, and I love the fact that it comes out that it is about what's next, how now to see what is happening to you before it gets to where I got this. So you have on page 63 the tips. So you've added the tips.
You've added those tips. Maybe 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Before the story.
Yes.
So I started with the tips.
Oh wow.
That's how I wrote. So I was writing the tips. I was not writing.
So you were.
So you see a difference when you read the tips, how well they are written, because that's what I was actually writing. in my
So
healing process.
your purpose has
Yeah.
started before the eventful day that had to force you to go through, to do what you're doing now, that we're going to be out there and we're going to speak about this, and every other woman must have the book, and fathers and brothers and uncles.
It's not a book for women, and men have been buying my book, and it makes me so happy. Most of my colleagues are buying book as men and reading it and giving me feedback.
It's important.
And another man said I'm an abuser, and I was so relieved. I was like, yeah, that's exactly why I wrote the book.
Because
I want you
sometimes
to
you
see
don't see it.
yourself.
Yeah.
Said, oh, my wife, my poor wife, now I understand. I need help. Lerato, what can I do? And I said, get a therapist. At least start with therapy. Also, say sorry to your wife. To show that you see what is it that you are doing that you did not see.
I'm really happy that that guy came out, because there was a human being, there was somebody who was romantic before, and something happened. Trauma. And I love that's why I'm going back to this, the way you wrote it. There is no way where you say Lenjale. There is no way in the book where
he wants to paint me like that. So in the sentencing agreement, I always fought with him. I've never fought with this man. I've never swore at this man. I was never rude to this man. So legal documents are public. Anybody that wants to go access those cases can do that. He's painting me as this horrible person. I'm not that. But at the end of the day, I like one magistrate that said, stop defending yourself. The truth always shows. Just remain who you are and remain in truth.
And that's where you.
And that's how I want all cases. There's not even one case that he has won, even after, because I remained on my truth lane and I remain who I am. Amongst the lies, I still remain me. I've been painted as the worst woman on earth. Probably the sisters and the nieces see me as a disaster. I've caused horrible things to their brother. But the truth is, I'm still who I am. I haven't changed nothing. And I'll continue for my children's sake. So my children were my inspiration of writing the book, because I don't want it to be another story. I want my great-grandchildren to know that my grandmother wrote a book about abuse. Now I love what's happening in my household. We're talking about narcissistic abuse. We're talking about personality disorder.
Those pages are so important, because people write a story and it ends with a story. But it doesn't end with, okay, what are the other things that you need to take? If you can see, I ticked. I'm taking
so it's a manual.
It's a manual that you need
book.
to keep, and you can't even. I was like, no, I'm gonna give it to somebody.
No, somebody must buy their own.
Because the list, and I love it. So it's long. You articulate it very well, and also after the tips, there's also how to spot and how to deal. So there is that.
One of my followers on Twitter said Mangpala Leo list, because it started on Twitter as a post. That's how the book started. It started as a post, as a thread. So when you go through the list, specifically on page 68, I need to control you, silent guest, distancing, future, lazy, liar, cheating. How?
Wow. And these are the conversations that we need to have. But when I say liar, what does it mean? Because you start lying about stuff when you control,
and not isolatedly lying. One thing that you will realize about these people, and I don't want them to be as if I'm calling them monsters, and I'm glad that you're mentioning, which I don't swear, I don't say anything horrible
whatsoever.
We must understand where they are in their trauma, and they need to personally see their trauma. That, like this person, I don't want to expose them. Shoot, I nearly said their name. They said to me, I see myself, I'm an abuser. Lerato, you've exposed me, and I feel sorry for my wife. So I want you to see yourself and do something about it. Go identify your trauma. What happened? A whole lot of things happen, and we don't deal with it. As it's like, I swear. How stressed again, like we don't take it serious, but we are traumatized. We are raising children with a trauma. I mean, what are we doing?
Now it's a generational thing.
And then
and both, your daughter and your son, and this is two different traumas. This my dad, my mom, and it's two different stories, and whatever that they are taking from it, now it's their trauma, it's their bond that whoever they're gonna attract it will be speaking to that day, and they were young.
Yep. And I'm constantly having conversations with them not to hate.
Oh, yeah.
We hate what was done,
Yeah, but
not the person, because you are him. So I constantly remind them, it took him and me for you to be born. So you've got who he is in you.
He is our story.
And you need to identify what is it that you don't like,
He is us.
that you might have, and how are we going to solve it.
And
so that
deal
you,
with it in the future.
Yeah,
Because
you don't
it's
become
not
this
going to be a
person.
once-off thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lifetime thing.
Yeah, so he's not bad. We talk about him.
Okay.
But however, because they're still young, I'm protecting them. When they say we want to see him, with pleasure.
Okay.
But not while they can still be manipulated.
Okay.
You know? So I want the law to have some form of protection, especially in these circumstances. That's why you'd find women would not allow you, the father, to see their children because of what they could be exposed. Yeah, what could they?
Because they can come back and want to get back at you again.
Exactly.
And the kids can be
Exactly. But I'm constantly having this conversation so that bazi ukuthi lento leyenzakala, but we identified what was wrong and we learned from the wrongdoing.
Sure.
And we become better person in the process.
Sure.
It's all about that. It must create us, it must make us better people.
And this is now what you are working on with other mothers and females. So what's now? Do you have a foundation? Are you planning a foundation?
I'm planning a foundation.
So that at least we know from here. We want to
so
follow you.
The purpose of the foundation is to raise funds specifically for women in my circumstances where now that you are calling out the abuser, he's taking you to court.
Okay.
So the purpose of my foundation is to have legal fees for the fights, and also to have support for calming you down. Because you see women like at court because he can't believe my perfect husband has become a monster. Everything. How does it happen? So I want to help that woman in distress that does not see a way out. That woman that feels like killing herself. I want to be their cheerleader and show them that, you know what, calm down. You've got the funds. So I want to have so much money that I'm going to pay your legal fees, calm down.
Okay.
You're not going to lose a home,
so
calm down.
One stressed out.
Yeah.
Go to the other. And I love that you also added a protection order, the form, how it looks
That's
like.
important.
For me, I was like, wow, because those are the, AMA forms scares people.
They do. And about the
scares people. So you don't
court, the clerks are rude. Kabanga ushayiwe izolo.
Protection order for
E. Yeah, like
what did you do? What did you do?
Yeah. You know, so the re-traumatizing of victims when they try to seek for help. I want to be that bridge. I want to fill that crack and be that comfort to a woman to know, oh no, there's Lerato, can I call Lerato quickly? And she'll help me out. I want to be in that position, definitely.
Wow, I can't wait to conversations with the Phumzile. I've hosted conversations with Phumzile here at home with different topics, with different people who talk about stuff. I would really love to have you and have those women, and invite them, because sometimes I know this is virtual. We're going to put it on YouTube, Facebook and all that. You listen and then you go on with your life. Sometimes it's nice when people can really see you and be with you, because others will have a strength to say, I didn't know this, or thank you. But where we can also focus on their tips. Focus on how to deal. Focus on those things, because the story is there and it won't change. It's out there. Now we know, but the teaching is what? Because every day it means these are the things that you need to look out to.
Yeah, definitely. And again, one thing that I've realized is that always it's hashtag Namhla. It was Namhla.
Oh, yay.
You understand? Namhla went through this abusive. Now we've forgotten what hashtag Namhla.
Yeah.
Sizomela hashtag somebody that died.
Yeah.
That must come to an end.
That must come to an end. Actually, there was a post, Lerato, that I loved. It was written by a woman police officer. She also tips to say, I know you would bash me for this, or you will come back and hate me, but I'm going to put it out there. Guys, we don't help you because of different reasons, And then was like journaling. Until the first slap, journal. tell somebody, right, those are the small things that help your case. Sometimes we can't solve your case because there is nothing to hold on to. Other abusers are so clean, they do it so clean that, like,
there's no evidence.
Like on your phone, you talk about SIM card, where now you don't have access to people that you can talk to.
Exactly.
Because they've taken
they isolate
away.
you. They isolate you so that they can control the narrative.
Yes.
And another way, open an anonymous Twitter account, make it a diary.
Yeah.
So if he did something, it will have dates.
It will have dates.
Posted. It's anonymous. Nobody's following you. Nobody knows who you are.
Wow.
So I have that.
Because those are the things, apparently, that always makes your case stronger.
Yeah.
So women must just get used to, like, not women, people must get used to journal what's happening in your life. If there's something that you think is going on and you are not happy with it, start putting it out there.
Put it out there
because
somehow.
it will help you.
Open a WhatsApp group with a group of friends. Just tell them that they must allow you to say whatever. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, because I had that. I had a please help me group, and I told these women that when I'm in trouble and I send a word, you come to my house, because already. You see, I could tell I was never beaten up, but I could tell that I was gonna get hurt. I could see that he was planning something.
And that thing,
there was that
even knowing, we know that's how the soul works.
Yeah. So I was uneasy, and the reason when he said get out, I got out because I was scared. Whether he was using imitia, which I later found, to make me scared, I don't know. But I was terrified. And that's why I left my home, because I was scared.
Yeah.
So
people talk about you never leave. You see the signs, but you never leave. Like as you're saying, you leave. You come back now to restore your life without him, and that still happens.
Exactly.
So it doesn't end from or back to leave. It doesn't end there.
To leave.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for coming. I'm feeling emotional, but I'm trying to hold it together because, after reading the book and then meeting you and realizing some of the things I think from people that I've seen and just the things, the abuse that goes on a daily outside the workplace and all that. So I'm also seeing some of the things that actually happened to me, but I didn't, luckily circumstances moved where you're able to move, but if you stay, actually something else, but I'm still here, but I was not aware that I was abused by a friend. I'm not even saying like a partner, by friends. You are abused by somebody in your family.
Once I identified who I was and my trauma, I lost a whole lot of relationship. Why these people were playing an abusive role in my life. So now that I know myself, they cannot stay.
That is so key.
You will lose people.
That is
so be ready for that.
And there's financial abuse, there's emotional, there's a lot of things, and I like the way you listed stuff that you start looking at yourself. And that it did that for me. More than it did that for me. I have my partner here. I have my first one is 27. I have my daughters here. So there's also those small things that if I let, like as an example, kids are kids. We have our characters. But I also, but sometimes we don't realize that as an adult, that streak of manipulation actually can be harmful to the other, and it's important for us. So I'm planning a session to read with my daughters, so that we can, after now, we will watch it together and have, because I wanted to have you before then we can point out those things.
Absolutely.
So that it is a help book for every other thing, not just
even for me. I still go back to it. I'm editing it because there's a lot of mistakes as well for the next batch of printing. And now it's like I need to put it down, like, oh my god, okay. It's like I didn't write it, because when I read it, it becomes new again. It's like I'm finding out new information.
Sure. So the book is available. Where do people get it?
So I'm going to put it on Take a Lot soon.
Okay.
I will notify you once it's available on Take a Lot. And through me, so anybody that wants the book can go to my name on Facebook.
Okay.
Or contact me. I don't know if you are able to put my number.
I will, definitely.
They would call me, and then I'll post. I use PEP because PEP is quicker than the post. So I've learned
as well.
The post office takes forever. So PEP, you pay for delivery. If you're around, then I can drop it off.
Okay. How much is one?
200 rand.
200 rand.
Yeah. It's 200 rand.
Actually, I bought it.
Yeah,
I'm asking how much because I didn't care how much it cost.
You forgot. I'm thinking.
Exactly. But like, bring that book.
Yeah. So it's 200 rand. I mean, it's an investment. Obviously, you are supporting my plight and my cause. You know, we are building slowly. Eventually, we'll get the monies that we need.
It is education.
But thank you for everybody that's investing. That 200 rand allows me to reprint, allows me to put myself on different platforms.
Yeah, and because as it grows, because legal fees are not cheap.
Legal fees are not
Supporting
cheap.
somebody is not cheap.
I want to get to a point where I can pay legal fees for women, and men will think twice before they disrespect a woman, because Lerato's foundation is going to pay my the fees.
Sure.
In fact,
if you also want them, I'm gonna have some books. I'm happy to distribute.
Perfect.
I'm
also
happy to
need
be
books
one
with
of
you.
Oh no, thank
Definitely.
you so much. And there's some women that I wanna buy gifts for, because I think this is we need it. We need such books. I'm such a reader. I buy books. I join Stockfells just for books. I buy books because they can help you with so many things. When you don't know who to talk to at the time, a book can be that friend.
Absolutely.
That you can see yourself in that book. So I really advise everybody, buy books.
Thank
Buy
you so
our
much.
black books. And guys, the stories are real, not fiction, and it's people who have lived to see those days. So thank you so much, Lerato, for joining me. Yeah, I don't know.
It's been a great, oh gosh. Like it feels like we just started talking.
I know, right? It's been. So no, I'm gonna post it out there, and we're gonna take you so that people can see, and then we can invite others for the next function.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It's been great.
It's been great. Conversations with Phumzile, YouTube, please subscribe. I normally don't do the subscribe and all that. You know what? Because it has never been about the likes. It has never been about the number.
But the likes are important.
But I'm important. I need the reach. But I always, my daughter says, Mom, when you start, you must say subscribe. But so guys, do subscribe.
I'm going to subscribe. My kids are going to subscribe.
Yes,
so today they must have 3 extra subscriptions.
And hit the bell. Okay, hit the bell as well, so that if we post another story,
you get a notification.
You get it first. Thank you so much, Lerato.
Okay then. Bye. Thank you for listening.